Hello my people, welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about Gabriel Rene Moreno University. My god, so many people have asked me to talk about Gabriel. What is Gabriel like and all these things, right? About Gabriel? So before starting this video, go ahead and leave that beautiful like on this video. Subscribe by clicking the red button here, which is free. And if you help me out by sharing this video with everyone you know. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. Today we'll discuss the Gabriel Rene Moreno Autonomous University. For those of you watching this university video, I have plenty of videos about different universities here on my channel, talking about Unifran, Católica, UCBol, and UDABol. So look for the playlist here on my channel called Medicine in Bolivia. So all the videos will be there, all nicely organized for you to watch, because you're always asking me for them. Dr. David Campos discusses this university, and that video is already on my channel, so don't miss it, you can go watch it. And today we're going to talk about Gabriel. Gabriel is a public university, a government university, right? So, as you know, there's nothing more to say about this university. I mean, it's one of the best, just like other public universities in Bolivia. Within Bolivia, well, we have different ones, right? The ones in Cochabamba, in La Paz, in Chuquisaca, those are the best. Public universities will always be better. I know that many people worry, maybe about the cost. That's why some choose private universities over public ones, as getting into public universities can be complicated. Like the ones I already mentioned here, and these universities, well, they charge a little more, right? So I always choose, that's just how I am. I have a way of thinking, I know that. You don't have to agree with everything I say, I'm just giving you the information. So for me, it's always been important not just to look at the infrastructure of a university, that it has everything. For me, the most important thing is the education and that the university, well, has even more recognition. What do I mean by this? Many people study at state universities in Bolivia and remain in the country to study, work, and live their lives, which is very important. Perfect, that's up to each person. But for example, I studied medicine and I want to leave my country to come, maybe to do a residency or maybe to work in another country. I've already talked about this, it's in all my videos. It really helps if the university is well known, right? Because when you submit your documents, they look into what that university is, what the education at that university is like. And that really helps a lot because it carries a lot of weight. The Universidad Autónoma Gabriel Rene Moreno won't have to compete with any other university. Because being a state university, it's recognized worldwide. It's a reference point, right? Here I'm talking about Gabriel University, as well as others, like I mentioned from other departments in my country. The state universities are also very good. For those who don't know, at the state university, you don't pay anything. You have to take an exam to get into the program you want. For example, over there it's called the Prueba de Suficiencia Académica. The student finishes high school. I'm talking about Bolivians who study there, like us. When we finish high school, we have to prepare to take an exam. The Prueba de Suficiencia Académica. With the score you get from these grades, you can choose which major you can study. Almost everyone, since I've always talked about medicine here, most people want to study medicine. So they don't get the score to study and earn a scholarship? Maybe we can tell them or offer them a spot in the medicine program at the state university. Many people choose to take other majors and then switch to medicine. What can be done? An example I can give you? Sometimes, since they can't get into the medicine program at the state university, they get a spot to study another major within the university, like pharmacy. And then, after a year, they transfer to the other major, which would be medicine, where some of the courses they've taken in that major are validated for medicine. That way they can go and study medicine. Obviously, there are people who pass the PCA with a good grade and get into medicine, but it's a bit more complicated for the medicine program. I mean, it's a little harder to get directly into the medicine program, right? I really don't have much to say about this university. Negative. Maybe there's something negative, but it would be about the infrastructure or the way things are organized, not really about the administration. But when it comes to talking about the education, I can't speak about that. Because it's one of the best public universities, Gabriel, just like other public universities in my country. They are very important, they are very good. Obviously, as I said, I would talk a little about what the infrastructure would be like. Sometimes the infrastructure is not very good, sometimes the management, well, there isn't good management. Or maybe it's very crowded, because Gabriel is for almost the entire department of Santa Cruz. Many students from different areas of Santa Cruz come to study. So there are a lot of students, and maybe having the grades and everything instantly takes a little while, right? There are quite a few students, but Gabriela itself is one of the best universities. You have to take an exam before entering to study any major you want. Obviously, you don't pay anything. You might pay some small fees, maybe for an exam, 15 Bolivianos, 20 Bolivianos, which is basically almost nothing. The teaching is very good, the teachers are very good. Those same teachers you have sometimes also teach at private universities. They also teach at private universities. At Gabriel Rene Moreno University, the medicine program, I'm going to talk a bit about medicine because that's where I have the most knowledge. The medicine program is annual at Gabriel. Alright, so you have to take the subject no matter what. It's all year long, the grades are cumulative, and you have an exam. Like I said, they're very strict. Here, there's no asking, please help me. Because if you don't pass, you just don't pass the subject. There's no way around it. Maybe you can retake it later, as they say, to make it up afterwards. They always ask me this, David, when I finish medical school, do I have to take an exam? Well, no. In state universities, including a private one like the Catholic University, which is where I graduated from, there is no exam. In the end, it's known as the graduation exam. Many people know it as the graduation exam. But when you finish studying the 6 years of medicine, you have to take the graduation exam. At Gabriel, and at the state universities that have medicine. In Bolivia, at the Bolivian Catholic University San Pablo in Santa Cruz, there is no graduation exam. You finish your 6 years of medicine and then that's it. You graduate, send in your paperwork, and that's it. You're a doctor. There are, as I said, other private universities. At those other universities, you do have to take a graduation exam. You finish your 6 years of medicine. Well, there you go in with your paperwork, and they give you a date for you to take your graduation exam. This doesn't happen at Gabriel. Gabriel is one of the most prestigious universities everywhere, as I said. And what if you want to leave? People who want to go outside my country to study, do some residencies, or do something else related to studies. Well, it has great recognition. You can, for example, there's an agreement that you can, if you want to go to the Católica, you can go to the Católica or from the Católica. You can transfer to the Gabriel. So Gabriela accepts transfers from the Universidad de la Católica to Gabriela and from Gabriela to the Católica. Other universities don't accept it. They require you to redo everything. This has happened frequently, such as with Udabol. People who wanted to go to the Católica weren't allowed. None of their courses were validated, so they have to start studying again from the first year. Because this is mostly due to the curriculum. Like I said, at Laudabol, the program is by semester, and at the Católica, like at Gabriel, it's yearly, so they don't validate your courses because of the curriculum. I know that many people want to study. Even I know you must be asking, David, if Gabriel is so good, why didn't you study medicine there? There, some family matters came into play. Because I have no problem studying at Gabriel, I wanted to study at Gabriel. Because I had made an agreement with my father, but my mom didn't want to because it has its pros and cons, Gabriel. One of its cons would be that since it's run by the government, sometimes there are strikes, sometimes there are conflicts over choosing who will be the president. Or I don't really know how it works at Gabriel. Do they always elect the rector, the vice rector? And in these situations, Gabriel kind of shuts down. Doesn't it stop to focus on politics? And so you end up maybe losing study hours or maybe classes. My mother didn't want me to get involved in politics because of those reasons, and I'm not really into politics anyway. So, because any strike or anything that happens, well, Gabriel, being a state university, also shuts down, right? Or maybe let's suppose, for example, that Gabriella needs, I don't know, new equipment, new infrastructure. And what about this? I really support the students, because sometimes the students go on strike to have these benefits, and I agree with that. So it's good because they're gonna get their benefits. But you also end up losing, like, I don't know, studies, classroom time, classes, because sometimes the professor or your university teacher just doesn't say anything. I don't care if there's a strike. If these things happen, these protests, I'm still gonna give you the exam. So there you see, right? You see? So these little things, I suggested studying at the Católica since my mother may not have wanted to. But I will always recommend and I will always say that the number one will always be the state ones. This is in Santa Cruz de la Sierra, my city, and the Gabriel is one of the best there. It has improved significantly with new infrastructure and buildings. I like everything about it. And the veterinary clinic, wow, it really has everything. As a dog lover, I believe those pursuing veterinary medicine will have a fulfilling career. The veterinary clinic is fully equipped, including an ultrasound machine for the dogs. I used to go there and run tests on my dogs. I did their ultrasounds, so it's really great. Medically, it's comprehensive and includes everything. You're going to go to all the hospitals because since it's run by the state, all the students have the right to go to any hospital, right? And always when the stage comes, that would be to go to the internship. Well, they're always going to be chosen. There are always spots for the medical students from Gabriel. I mean, they have a lot more, you know? They have more opportunities open for students than those who have studied at private universities. So I don't have much more to say. It's a complete university. I recommend it. You have to study because the Prueba de Suficiencia Académica isn't easy to pass. There are a lot. I mean, if you want to study medicine, it's going to be a little more complicated because it's tough. You have to work for it, study a lot, and give it your all. And I think the exam is in February, something like that, because classes start in March. So that's when you get ready. The campus is huge, and you have everything. It's almost in the center of Santa Cruz. It's a good university. I have nothing else to say. Your degree, besides the fact that you graduated from Gabriel, well, it's recognized, and that's the most important thing. There's nothing more to say. So thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for being here. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.